Hello, today we are going to show you how to set up your Buy Nothing group on your iPhone. So the first thing I'm going to do, excuse me, is to click on my Facebook icon. And here is the group that I am going to set up. But the first thing I want to do is actually go download the banner that I'm going to need. So I'm going to hit the back button at the top left of my screen. And I'm going to type in the group that I want, which is the Volunteer. Oops, except I didn't spell it right. There it is. Volunteer Resource Center. Click on that. Now I'm going to scroll across because I want to find a photo album. So photos is right here, as you can see, but the albums is a little bit farther over on the right at the bottom. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to scroll down until I find the one that I want. Just a note, there it is, that if you're on a computer, there are like 15 different photo albums, but you don't always see them. On a phone, it's a little different. So I'm going to click on the local group banner. And then again, I'm going to click on this picture down at the bottom left. And now I'm going to click on the three dots in the top right-hand corner. And that will give me the option to save the photo. Photo is saved. So now I'm going to back out of this, and 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 I'm going to click at the top and join the page. Oh, there it is. Buy Nothing Test Group. So this is the group that you will get invited to by the development team member, or if you're doing a Sprout, it might be a regional team member too. So I'm going to go to the group. I don't want to do that. So when you first go to the group, once they give you admin status, sometimes that can be a little tricky to accept the invitation on your phone. So if you're in the group like this and you don't see that you have admin status, just pull the whole screen down like this to refresh it, and sometimes that will then pop up the invitation to admin status. Okay, one thing to say about the banner before we insert it is that this white banner does indicate that your group is not locally managed yet. And so we have you insert this banner first, and then after the group is completely set up, then the development team member or the regional team member will give you the locally managed banner, which is the brown banner. So we're just having you do this now so that you can practice setting it up, and it has a banner, but once it's totally set up, we'll give you a new one. So in the bottom right-hand corner of the banner, that black bar, it says a little picture and then edit. So I'm going to click on that. I do want to upload a photo, and there it is. My kid's being crazy. Save. I shouldn't have to reposition it. There, I've got the photo. Okay, so as an admin, you'll see down at the bottom it says set up your group. I'm not going to do that right this moment, but I'll go finish it at the end. So I'm going to go up to the admin shield, which is in the top right-hand corner next to the search bar, and click on that. So I'll see all the things I can do as an admin here. The first thing I want to work on is the group settings. So they are towards the bottom left. It's a little cog looking wheel, and it says group settings. I'm going to click on that. And we're just going to go straight down in order. So pending member questions. I'm going to click on that one. Now, this has been changed in the way that it shows sometimes, but Facebook is nothing if not inconsistent. And so we'll see how this shows up. It might look a little bit different for you. So I'm going to add a question. Okay, so this is the new format. So you'll see right here you have a choice of multiple choice checkboxes or written answer. If you don't move this around, it's going to be a little frustrating because you won't actually have set up multiple choice, and so people won't be able to answer. So I want to click on the written answer down there at the bottom, and then I'm going to ask my question. I am not one that uses my phone for most things. I will look around on Facebook, but I am not phone savvy as many of you out there are. So I am not going to copy and paste the actual questions because that would take me more time and you guys are sitting there having to watch me do all my phone things. So I'm going to generalize the question. I will show you where they are located. So the first question is about where are you located? So what is... Okay, so that's not actually the question, right? It says something like, welcome to the Buy Nothing Project. You may join one group. Please tell me the name of your street and the nearest cross street. There are a couple of variations for question 1 because not all groups are set up in the same way. Some encompass multiple cities, some encompass the whole city, and some are just part of a neighborhood. So you can pick and adjust that question number 1 to make sense for your area. Okay, so I've saved that question. Okay, and now I want to add another question. And the second question has to do with, are you in multiple groups? So again, we do want to adjust. So I'm going to scroll down. I don't want multiple choice. In theory, this one could be yes or no, but then they wouldn't be able to tell me which other group. So we still want it to be on written answer. And I'm going to save that. And then the third question has to do with how old are you? And says something like, how old are you? Are you over 21 or the age majority in your country or area? And look for a message from us if you have questions. So again, this one actually in theory could be yes or no, but because this is a new feature, we're just recommending that we not use it quite yet. New features tend to be glitchy. Save. Okay, so there are my 3 questions. There's also a place to do the group rules, which is different than when I did set up on a Facebook group last time. So I'm going to notice that they are there, and I'm not going to copy and paste them in right now. And I'm going to hit the back arrow on the top left. Okay, who can approve member requests? I'm going to click on this one. I definitely want it to be only admins and moderators. Membership pre-approvals. We don't use this feature because you're going to add everyone as they answer a question. Group badges, I'm going to click on. I do want to turn off this badge. You'll notice there's only one badge right now, but as you gain more members, there will be more badges that pop up. There's an admin badge, which some groups choose to use. We recommend just not using any badges because we are posting oftentimes as members and not as admins. There's also a new member badge that shows up for like 2 weeks that some people find helpful. And then the other ones, which definitely don't really seem to have a purpose for our groups, are conversation starter, visual storyteller, or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to hit the back arrow at the top left. Membership requests from pages. We do not want to allow pages to join as members because, confirming, all of our members need to join as themselves, not as a business, and so they do need to be their own person. Who can post in the group? Anyone can post in the group. Post approval is off, and we're going to leave that off. We don't want to have to approve all of our posts. Who can create group chats? We don't use group chat, so we're going to hit the arrow to the right and turn this to admins only. Who can add to the group story? We don't add the story either, so that's admins only as well. And then as a double whammy, group story approval, we are going to turn this on. Even though only admins can go to the group story, it's kind of a double one. Manage linked groups. Linked groups, if you want to do that, I'll show you how to do that a little later. You could link the Buy Nothing 7 Challenge or the Buy Nothing Travelers Network or the Person to Person for Relief group. You do have to be a member in those groups in order to link them, but again, that's up to you. We don't usually manage linked pages. Okay, basic group info. clicking on the name and description. So the name should already be in there from your setup that somebody else created. Facebook does sometimes limit the number of name changes or type of group changes that you can do. It seems, again, to be inconsistent, but if it does limit it, you can only change the name and the group setting every 28 days. So that can be a little tricky if you mess up on the name. So just a heads up. Group description. Again, you don't want to see me go back and forth. So ideally, you would have copied this into some kind of notes, which I am not an expert on, and then you would add the description here. So I'm just going to type. Now, just a note that when you do add the description, there are spots where it is bolded in the original document. It won't show up that way when you copy and paste it. But there is a spot and it says local admin name, and you'll need to put your name in there. And then I think in the third paragraph where it talks about, or the fourth paragraph, by nothing group name, you'll need to insert the name of your group, and then that paragraph is about describing the boundaries of your group. Again, different groups are going to have different setups. You might encompass multiple cities, so you could say the names of the cities and surrounding areas. You might just have one city, and you could put that. If you are a neighborhood area, you can hopefully be specific about perhaps your north, south, east, west boundaries. Sometimes those are a little bit fuzzy. So you could also list the names of the neighborhoods. Just ask your development team if you have questions about what to put there. Okay, now I'm going to hit save in the top right-hand corner. Cover photo, I've already done. Group type, I've already done too, but just so you know what it is. We are now the general type. Facebook just changed this as of my recording. We definitely don't want to buy and sell in these other ones. Okay, color, just to show you. This is one that's a little bit weird because on mobile now it's white. If you go to the same group on a computer, it'll show a default like dark gray blue. So just heads up, we don't usually change the color. The color only shows up on mobile. So if the color does get changed, it won't show up anywhere else. Group location. So I am in Pflugerville, Texas. So I'm going to type that in. Most of the time, you're going to probably just put your city. If you have multiple cities, then you can pick which one, perhaps the one that's largest, if that's really clear. If you are just a neighborhood and there actually is a pin for your neighborhood, then by all means, do that one as well. Okay, tags. The first tag we want to write is gift economy. It always wants to put gift economies, which seems silly because it's just one group. And then if you have a neighborhood that you can tag, so I used to live in a neighborhood called Allendale in Austin, Texas, so I could tag that. If I just can tag the city, that's fine, or if you have multiple cities, you could tag them as well. Privacy is closed, which should already be set up. And then notifications is just what you want to receive. So because I am in so many buy nothing groups, I turn most of them off, and I turn the member requests off. Because this is your group, I would probably suggest leaving the member requests on so you'll get notified. And then it's up to you if you want to turn highlights or all posts on. If it's a new group, then you might want to monitor it a little more closely. But if you're just planning to go to see the group every couple days and check that way, that's fine. That's totally up to you. Okay, now that's all of my settings, so I'm going to go back to the beginning. Okay, so if I want to double check my membership questions, you'll see on the right side, the second from the top, membership questions. It's just a different way to get to that setting that we already did and a different way to get to create rules.